Hi Scorpios, and welcome to your June 2021 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky to talk to you about the energies coming in the month of June. A really important month for Scorpios where things really are actually not that big of a deal in this month, but I do see you making most of your progress this year in this month in a way at the same time. So a bit of a kind of multi-layered month coming in where you might have a change in fortune or a change in identity, or that there's something about you that is definitely working in a different way now, kind of like your instrument of choice has changed, or the lighting on you has changed, the basically the setting of which you are animating in your life seems to have changed. There's maybe a change in location or a change of some kind. Change. It just seems to never stop with Scorpios, does it? Again, you are the sign of transformation, the sign of cycles, and there is a definite turning point this month, okay? I think it's really for the best, and to me, it seems like your experience of that change is not something that's really that visceral, actually. It's just kind of like a natural progression in a way that comes in. And I wouldn't be surprised if you come out of the month of June with a very different way of going about your life, or with a very different body chemistry even. It's a really good month for you to kick an addiction, or for you to make a change in your routine or something to that effect, which gives you a different feeling of environment. I'm also feeling a reintroduction coming in. We have a lot of retrogrades. We have, your planet of Pluto being retrograde. We have like Mercury and Saturn and Jupiter about to go retrograde as well. So it's very, very retrospective in a way. Yet you seem to really be looking out at the horizon and really seem to be future tripping a bit as well, or it would be easy. Also, I'm feeling a bit of erraticism, or like you are jumping around a lot, like you are, it's not so much ADD, it's more like you just don't really want to commit to any one focus for too long at a time, because you feel like so many things might just be slightly off. So you're really trying to be so many different places at once, it feels like. For those of you with Libra placements, I would definitely look at the Libra reading, because Libra, Scorpio, and Sag are actually similar in this way this month, where there might be a little bit too much that you've taken on and a need to reevaluate. Okay, definite beacon of reevaluation coming in this month, as a few different experiences will have you kind of questioning, your previous opinions or your previous judgments even. Really not so much about opinions, it's more like choices made, or character judgments, or anything like that really gets a different tone this month. A few more intuitive messages before we get into the week to week. Okay, what else is coming in for Scorpio? There is really a mundanity about this time that you might dodge if you're getting too overwhelmed with things. Like, honestly, I really don't feel like anything's that big of a deal. You could really be exaggerating the problem of certain situations, like taking certain things really out of the appropriate level of problem. Okay, so like you might think that having to replace something in your life is some sort of like really life altering, life changing situation, when it's really just meant to sort of be like another day at the job, or another day in the life. This really feels like another month in the life. Like, this is not really a month that's meant to be crazy for you. It's really meant to be mundane in a way, and you're meant to kind of heal through things that you enjoy, and through mundane solutions and natural progressions and sober results. Okay, hopefully that doesn't sound boring to you, but I think that it's important to be said for Scorpios, because oftentimes a Scorpio will seek out that really intense, dramatic situation. And what I'm seeing for many Scorpios this month is basically dramatizing small things, like, oh no, I've broken my phone and I have to go to the phone repair shop, or I have to get a new phone tomorrow. And that this becomes like a really really overwhelming scenario when it's really like not that big of a deal. You know, there's like an abundant resource and things like that. So you can kind of skew that which is abundant. Like, okay, I know that there is an abundance of this or that in this world, but I don't really believe in my ability to acquire that. And so I'm going to make this a really big deal. Some things kind of don't really make sense, like why there are issues in your life at this point in time, like maybe not being in the location that you want to be in or not having the progress you've wanted to have. It needs to stop being something that's freaking you out, and rather it needs to be something that has just a natural progression, or you start to see that your actions instead that are immediate start to alleviate you from some of these toiling experiences, because there is something that's still kind of toiling. 5 of Pentacles coming up, 9 of Cups reversed coming up, 7 of Wands reversed. It's like you're looking out for that next conflict, or you're in that mode where you're like, okay, I've got to be prepared for the next battle. I've got to be prepared for the next unexpected issue, or I've got to be prepared to fail. Okay, Scorpios, a feeling that you need to be prepared for failure. It doesn't make sense in this time. It's not something that you need to be worried about. That's really come through, and sure, maybe there'll be a time in the future where that could come up again. But you would do really well to just give yourself a little bit of a break in June and just kind of let things fall where they lay, or lay where they fall, I think is how you say that. Instead of trying to really disrupt gravity or disrupt natural momentum, take it easy in June, basically. Okay, final intuitive message before the week to week. Try to quickly move toward what you know is your brighter future. Okay, so distinguishing between future tripping and how your present actions can quickly move you to where you want to be in the future. We have got to look at things from the present now. There is no other option this year. If you want to work with the energy in the year of 2021 with any type of tangible result, you have to get present focused, okay? Past tripping, future tripping is so easy, always for the water signs, especially past tripping. But if you want anything to grow in 2021, it has to go, okay? The future and past tripping has to go. So you can think about your goals. You can also think about what you're coming from, but it has to be a very small percentage of your sort of like energetic portfolio, I'm going to call it. Whereas you've got to really think about where things are right this second. Okay, right this second, where things are. What are everyday parts of your life? It's very easy to let your health go at this time. It's very easy to, while thinking about very difficult past traumatic situations, to have actually become dehydrated in that moment and not realize it, and slowly be creating bad health for your renal system or something. Like, it's stuff like that's coming in, and that is always a part of the Scorpio karmic cycle. Okay, is can you work with the past and the future in ways that do not create a destructive present? So a destructive present will always bore a destructive past and future, because we can't have a nice future when we have a bad present. And we also cannot create new situations which will become past and look fondly back on them when we have a bad present. So it's a really big illusion when we get really focused on those things, and all we can do is work with what's here and now. Try to not be hard on yourself about the past. Try to not be hard on yourself, because you could have here's the thing. Scorpios. Okay, this is also coming up for Leo this month, but what could happen is you could really actually start to see things for what they are. Like, you might really realize your mistakes in June of 2021. Likewise, you'll realize like what you've done right. Like, it's a very honest, simple time. So it's very hard to like have done something wrong and to convince yourself that it was right at this point in time. Or it's very difficult also to downplay what you've done well. It's very honest and simple. So knowing that that's the case, see it. It's very karmic. You know, if we've not really been great people, it's not a very easy time right now. Okay. Likewise, if we've done really well, it's a very giving time. It's very simple, very, very simple. This is not complex tones here. With that in mind, all you can do is start working with the present, okay, and start doing it right now. Like, start doing things right now. Okay, let's talk about your week to week, Scorpios. Okay, week number 1, you have got the Three of Wands rooted down by Knight of Swords. So there's a want for some type of like really quick pursuit of your horizon. I think you've been thinking a lot about what you want in the future. You've been thinking a lot about what your next chapter is. And I'm not just talking about, the subtle chapters that we move through, like really like the things that are at the core of your life. It seems that many Scorpios are curious about where that's headed and what changes are coming there. And it seems like you're still kind of trying to figure it out. Like, what do I want my life to consist of? What do I want to really be here? Like I said, we have so many control over the levers of our individual experience right now that many of us are just dreaming about what we want that to be, even if we can't fulfill it right this second. So there's something in the first week of June that's like, okay, I gotta get into gear. I've got to really make some of this happen or create a foundation that's strong enough. And a lot of you start moving really fast. So you want to have energy in preparation for the first week of June to make some progress and to really check some stuff off your list. Like I said in Libra's reading, there's a need to get a lot of tasks done or to really make some progress. Second week, you've got Wheel of Fortune rooted down by Nine of Cups reversed. So a lot of your good luck lies in knowing which avenues to cross and which ones to not, because you're feeling a little bit scattered to me. Like your energy, like I said, it's jumping around, it's shooting out in different directions. So it feels like you might be trying to cross so many different thresholds at once, or trying to level up in so many different places. And I think you've got to optimize it. Ten of Wands energy is coming up, even though it's not in this reading. So you got to know what you want to take on and what you don't want to take on. There are ways that you can really evaluate there are ways that you can evaluate your current sources of energy while also introducing higher value through easier or more, at least, purpose-oriented means now. So you're basically, what I'm trying to say in less words, is you can derive value from things that are more meaningful for you in the second week. So jobs or duties or tasks which are not meaningful to you are not so necessary, it seems now. So that's really beautiful. Week 3, you've got Five of Pentacles rooted down by the Three of Pentacles. So a change in material. I'm sensing many of you maybe have a change in job, change in focus, or even change in location. For some of you, it almost looks like living in a more expensive area. So I would think about that in many different ways. If I'm going to have like a cost of living increase, likewise, if I'm in a situation with a lot of draining people and maybe it's more energetically expensive to be in this area or in this place that I'm considering, how can you make things more affordable in your life? How can you scrap a few things as well that are no longer necessary, like energy outputs, jobs, side hustles, anything that's like taking so much but not really giving back at this point in time is tough. So and it's not really an all or nothing thing either. A lot of it deals with optimization, like we've been talking about, and a lot of it can be made more optimized or made more honest and real. So yes, fourth week, you've got Queen of Wands rooted down by Seven of Wands reversed. So things suddenly get kind of fiery at the end of June, which is interesting. We're moving into Cancer season there. So a lot of you are like getting passionate about maybe solving some old wounds, healing some old wounds. Also, secrets or mysteries. This is weird. Okay, so this is just a psychic note. It doesn't have anything to do really with those cards. But I'm feeling at the end of June and moving into July that a lot of Scorpios are wanting to be a little bit investigative, or they're wanting to maybe solve some secrets or find out the truth about something. So easy does it, but I think you will. And I think it might look good on you, or I think that it might really bolster up your passion about some of the things that you're taking on. Of course, you have to remember what do I want to say? You don't want to devote your life to like rooting out hidden things, I don't think. It doesn't really make sense, but I think that some of you might need to, at the very least, understand your own motivations and what you're doing. Maybe this doesn't have anything to do with anybody else. Maybe this is just about you. Like, do you know why you're doing what you're doing? Are you maybe being a little bit secretive with yourself about your own intentions or motivations? It's good food for thought for everyone right now when we're having such a societal focus on projection and such a societal focus on identity and who am I and reputation and who do people think I am and stuff. Like, you can get into some pretty fake stuff there, and then when we're there, it's like we don't really know why we want to project this way, and in a way that starts to get really, really crazy. So knowing why you want what you want is an important thing this month, and I think that's why the universe is serving you up a little bit of mundane things, slow-moving things, day-by-day things. Even though we're in eclipse season, this is how Scorpio is. It's like, while everybody else is going through all that crazy upheaval, Scorpio's like, taking out the trash and, making sure that their budgets are in order and stuff like that. And depending on other aspects in your chart, the eclipse season certainly could have really introduced some real-life stuff. It's different for everyone. But that would more so be from other Sag placements or other mutable placements in the chart, most likely. But yeah, we are having another eclipse, solar eclipse, actually. I believe it's June 10th. My brain is not remembering dates really well right now. It's been a long day of readings. And then we have some other transits, which I'll be making videos about. Make sure you're subscribed with those bell notifications turned on so that you can see when I post the transit videos coming up for this month. But yeah, Scorpios, you need to figure something out by the end of the month. I'm really feeling that it's not that you're depriving yourself of information, but you know the answers to these things. It's a weird thing because I'm not seeing you being unknowing. Yet you feel, or some Scorpios feel as if they're not really being let in on something either. So that's an uncomfortable thing where or one knows something, but at the same time, they maybe don't trust that knowledge or want to really test that knowledge and be sure that it's, accurate. There's a lot of that too. There's a lot of people like thinking, okay, this is the answer to my problems, but then you see that answer from a different perspective and you're like, but I don't know if that's really wholesome or not. Like, there's a lot of questions asked right now. We're in a Mercury retrograde in Gemini. By the time that this reading is coming out, we are in Gemini season for most of June. We have Saturn in Aquarius retrograde and then Jupiter in Pisces about to go retrograde. So there's a fragile setting of parameters right now, like in how we communicate what it is that we want and why we want it, how we communicate our current motivation to maintain certain things. And it needs to get more sturdy. The Saturn retrograde in Aquarius, which I made a video about, you can check my channel if you're interested in that. It deals a lot with getting more solid on what we think we need, and how we decide that we need something in our lives or that we need to structure something or that it needs to grow in our lives like that. That's a big thing right now. But anyway, Scorpios, let's talk about that a little bit more in your extended reading about structure and growth, because I'm feeling like you're feeling a bit barren, or you're feeling like you can't really grow something as well like you want to. So I'll go into that in your extended reading. You can click the center of your screen now to get the extended on Patreon. As always, your likes, comments, and subscribes here on YouTube make my day. And let me know how the reading resonated in the comments below. And let's do the extended on Patreon. You can click the center of your screen to get that now. Talk to you soon, Scorpios. Have a great month. Bye.